Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to share some yin yoga, gentle flow, restorative yoga, breath work, and meditation with you. So grab all your props, take a look at what I have here. And if you don't have yoga blocks, grab some pillows, more blankets, things that you can turn into blocks. And let's begin sitting up. We did have a request to spend some time relieving neck and shoulders, and taking a hormone balancing inversion to cool off with at the end. Let's just begin. So this week, we started another exploration of Satya, truthfulness, which is the second yama within the first limb of 8 limbs of yoga. Have you ever been told as a kid to not make silly faces like this or cross your eyes because your face will get stuck like that? I have. And it's interesting because you ever tell yourself now, maybe as an adult, how the emotional or thought patterns can kind of get our bodies feel stuck like that, like embodying the habitual thoughts, often stressful thoughts that can cause rounding in the shoulders or it's clenching in the jaw, or including the breath. So it's interesting, cause and effect, effect and cause, how we can also be conscious of peeling those embodied emotional patterns, the body of our mental thoughts or stressful emotions. And in so doing, we can sort of rewire or restructure our alignment. And the more we do that restructuring, sort of taking off the baggage that cover our true selves of being free, of feeling able to give and receive love, all the qualities of our true nature. This is where I'm coming into Satya, into truthfulness using the physical body. Then we unpack all of that that we may have carried on as luggages from what we've gone through this week, today, these years, last year. And then we can breathe again a little bit more freely in its natural state, a little more deeply in its natural state. So these yin postures, actually yin yoga is drawn from Taoist and Chinese, of there being pathways of go throughout our body. And we talk about chakras, also energy centers. And so chi, prana, energy, life force flows through those pathways. And as we create these tense imprints in our bodies, however our bodies might carry fear, maybe watching the news a lot, or whatever it is, worry, whatever it might be, it can start to cause life force to flow, and then leading to dis-ease or disease and all that stuff. So here is the practice of peeling off the layers, being aware of what we might have been carrying in our physical bodies that may have been started with thoughts of reacting to external stimuli, and then coming back to the breath, a bridge to our inner, into that Sat Nam, that at the end we sit in meditation as we've allowed the mind to sort of follow suit in this slowing down and being more aware and being still. So let's into that journey as you sit here now, setting your left hand on the middle of your chest, setting your right hand on your lower abdomen, and paying attention to, without changing anything else, how is your body feeling right now? What parts might be carrying some kind of tension or even rigidity or heaviness? And remember, this is to build awareness, not to blame or shame or any judgment like that. And then on the flip side, what might feel really open right now? What might feel pretty stable or even strong and alive? Notice the way that your breath is flowing. Are they deep? Are they shallow breaths? Again, just noticing. Knowing that our breath changes with our emotions and thoughts. What is it in your mind right now? What's at your heart right now? And to bring the first limb or the first yama, kindness to ourselves. Let's begin to move the breath in more slowly. Where does it naturally expand in your body? Maybe you're more of a belly breather or a chest breather. Become curious to that and then let the breath go. Slowing the breath in. And if you notice that you breathe more into your chest, see if you can expand it elsewhere in your torso, maybe down to the pit of your stomach. And then any sound that you want to make, let it go through your mouth. Couple more like that. Breathe in. Taking your time, expanding elsewhere. Open the mouth, maybe even sigh it out. Ha. Once more. And then from here, you can keep your hands where they are or rest them on your lap as we begin a breathing technique, a pranayama called samavriti or box breathing. And it's a wonderful breathing technique because it's so simple and easy to remember. Anytime you feel that you need to calm down anxiety or just reground yourself, it's a great tool. So it's basically just breathing in for 4 counts, holding the breath in for 4 counts, and then breathing out for 4 counts, whether through your nose or your mouth, and then holding the breath out for 4 counts. So inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. And that's it. Let's start together and then you can branch off at your own pace when you feel ready. So relax your shoulders, open your chest, lift through the center of your spine. Let's take a clearing breath first. Inhale deeply and clear it out. Let's begin. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going. A few more cycles. Without rushing, finish the cycle of breath that you're on. And then just pause, breathe naturally for a moment after that, and just notice the effects of that breathing technique. So it's a good idea to know what certain tools, postures, breath work really make a difference for you so that you can bring them into your own routines at home. Now let's bring the hands, interlace your fingers behind your skull. We're going to move to the breath here, sort of like a seated cat-cow. So as you take a deep breath in, raise your chest, tilt your chin up, and let your shoulder blades slide down your back ribs. As you breathe out, contract your belly, look down towards it, and let your elbows come together. Inhale, wheel your chest up, drawing your shoulder heads back, then down. Exhale, hollow your belly, rounding your back. Let your shoulder blades spread wider apart. Keep going. Inhale. And exhale. Chin to chest. So following your cycles of breath, if it's feasible for you, now continue just through your nose, mouth closed. You help to warm up your body through your breathing. And you can even add a soft whisper by gently narrowing the back of your throat, the breathing technique known as Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breath. Let's take one more full cycle. Nice. And then as you release that, let's roll the shoulders, inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down. Couple more. Then take your left fingertips to the right side of your skull. Press your right palm out to the right towards an imaginary wall. So you're flexing the wrists, fingertips pointing up, so that you might even feel a stretch in your forearm here. And then just let your left ear gently fall closer to your left shoulder. Full breath in. Allow your collarbones to smile wider apart. Slow breath out. Let your two shoulders melt down your back. About 5 more deep breaths. So yin yoga, what's special about it is that it targets connective tissues like your fascia, deep layers. Feel out the muscles in your face. Is your jaw fully relaxed? Can you feel the 4 corners of your eyes and let them soften? Now gently releasing your arms onto your lap, lift your skull slowly upright. Yeah, just take a moment here to feel into the effects of that. So with your right fingertips placed on the left side of your skull, extend your left arm out to the left like you're pressing into a wall, an imaginary wall. Flex your wrists, fingertips pointing up, and then gently drop your right ear closer to your right shoulder. Full inhale. Can you feel your side ribs gently expand? Slow exhale. As you're pressing the heel of your left palm out towards your left wall, can you feel energy reaching from your armpit through the center of your left arm, through the elbow, through the wrist, and out to your left palm? Remember that the neck area is associated with the throat energy center, and that has a lot to do with truth. It's the energy center Vishuddha, which is translated as purity, that relates to our ability to not only communicate what's true for us, but to receive the truth and to listen. Let's take one more deep breath. So unstucking that area, at least physically here. Release your arms, lift your skull upright, and then just pause to observe. Noticing the effects of each action and letting the pause be a moment of integration. Deep breath in, slow breath out. So let's slowly crawl down onto our hands and knees. We're going to come into a spinal twist called thread the needle. Get into the upper back a bit. So as you place your knees on the floor, set them slightly behind your hips, like 2 inches behind your hips. Wrists under your shoulders, spread your fingers wide. And now if you'd also like to open up your inner left thigh, step your left foot out to the left. Seal the sole of your left foot on the ground and align the arch of that foot with the center of your right knee. If you find that as you're spiraling into the twist, this allows you to really get into your upper back, then just place your left knee back down and take the posture that way. Remember, we're targeting the upper back, so that left hip is just a bonus. So inhale, raise your left arm. Exhale, slide your left arm underneath your right bent elbow so the left palm is face up. Flare your right elbow off the floor to face the sky and rest the left side of your skull all the way down. Now, if you're finding that your skull doesn't reach the ground easily here, to relax, grab a block or pillow or whatever you have and place your skull on top of that. You want to feel restful even though there's stretching happening and there may be some discomfort in that releasing of tension. But you don't want to feel any pain. So knowing that difference is important as we go deeper into yin and even restorative postures. So can you feel the length through both sides of your neck, left and right? Now picture the area right between your shoulder blades. Imagine you could breathe into that part, filling up your upper back, and then consciously relax that area of your body right in the center of your upper back. Try that about 5 more cycles of breath. So the area that you're breathing into is the heart energy center, Anahata chakra. And as you might remember, that's responsible for our ability to give and receive pure love, unconditional love. Often when we feel close to either giving or receiving love, we can have the physical imprint or posture of rounding the shoulders and sort of a protective, like the shoulders are trying to protect the front of the energy center, the heart, right? And sometimes even the skull tilts downward, trying to close that area. But it also goes through the upper back. It's not only in the front of your body. So imagine as you're breathing into the center of your upper back, like it's a window that goes all the way through the center of your chest. Breathing in and breathing out. So now as you're pressing your right hand on the ground, slowly lift your head, lift your torso, and come back to your hands and knees. If you did step your left foot out to the left side, do step your right foot out to the right side, sole of the foot flat on the ground, arch of the foot in line with your left knee. Then as you breathe in, raise your right arm up. And as you breathe out, slide it underneath your left bent elbow with your right palm face up. Flare your left elbow off the floor towards the sky. And notice if your skull As you lean the right side of it down, needs a prop if it doesn't touch the ground easily. Allow a lightness to travel throughout your neck. And bring that same lightness into the center of your upper back. Can you feel the inner edge of your right scapula, your shoulder blade, softening away from the midline of your body as your right fingertips are reaching gently towards your left wall? And so besides noticing which postures, breathing techniques, and such are effective for you so that you can use them later, I feel it's also important to notice when we have an aversion to any of them or resistance to them, because that can be insightful as well in how we approach that technique or pose. But also being curious of where the aversion or resistance is rooted in can be insightful. Can you allow the tops of your shoulders, the area of your trapezius muscle along the sides of your neck, and the very tops of your shoulders and upper back, to breathe and relax as though it were lungs? Breathe into the trapezius muscle and let it relax. As you finish this exhale, press your left hand into the ground and slowly lift your torso. Come onto all fours, and we're gonna take some circular movements sideways, laterally. So shifting forward and over to the right, dropping your pelvis through child's pose towards your feet, shifting to the left and forward, linking the motion to your breath. So as you inhale, you might go half of the circle. And as you exhale, the other half. As you're ready, switching direction. Perhaps you feel a nice stretch into your glute as you move your pelvis to one side, and maybe you just stay there for a few more breaths. Feel free to pace the movement as you're coming across areas of your body that are asking you to stay a while, to really give it some of your time and attention. We'll eventually meet in child's pose, separating your thighs, letting your belly rest between them. And if you like, you can even place your forehead on top of a block or pillow if that allows your neck to feel more relaxed. Now, as you're reaching your arms forward in child's pose, from your shoulder sockets, imagine your arms did not have elbow or wrist joints, so like they were pencils. From your shoulder sockets, rotate your palms to face up. And then let your elbows rest on the ground as you plug your shoulders back into their sockets. Feel freedom in your neck as you let your shoulder blades rest slightly apart. Remember that heart energy center. Feel space within that area too. Now imagine breathing into your pelvis. We're going to take a grounding breath here, or several grounding breaths here. We're going to inhale down into your pelvis, the very pit of your belly. And we'll take longer exhales. You decide if you want to breathe out through your mouth or your nose, while visualizing your breath traveling down the center of your legs, your thighs, your shins, and then out through the soles of your feet, penetrating the earth. So let's begin. Inhale into the pit of your belly, fill up your pelvis, and as you exhale slower, travel your inward gaze down your thighs, shins, soles, and into the earth. Let's try a few more. Inhale into your belly, fill up your pelvis. Exhale down the center of your legs, slower than your in-breath. Eventually out through the soles of your feet, pouring back into the earth. Try about 3 more of those. And when you finish at your pace, come back to breathing through the nose evenly and begin to walk your hands back towards your outer knees, tucking your chin towards your chest. You slowly begin to stack your lower spine, 1 vertebra at a time, and your mid-spine, and then your neck. And here you may want to grab a blanket, a little thinner than a pillow to sit on, and sit towards the front edge of it. And if you might even opt to sit on the ground, but I like a little bit of a lift with a blanket because we're going to get into our hips a bit more. From here, extend your left leg forward. Take your right thigh, cross it over the left, hug your thighs close to your midline. Now, if you can keep your 2 sitting bones evenly balanced, then go ahead and bend your left knee as well, your bottom knee, and maybe even splay the feet wider apart. Now, backstroke your right hand to the ground just behind your pelvis. Raise your left arm up. Take a deep breath as you relax your shoulders and sit tall. Now, turning your chest to your right, press the back of your left hand or forearm against the top of your right thigh. Breathe in, sit up a little bit taller. And then exhale, continue to turn your chest, broadening it, lifting your sternum while relaxing your shoulders down and lengthening the back of your neck. And if it feels okay on your neck, look over your right shoulder as we take at least 5 more deep breaths. And then as you finish those 5 breaths, unwind your torso, keep the shape of your legs, and grab your strap. Holding the strap from your left hand, raise your left arm, dangling the strap behind you. Rotating your left tricep forward, create some space across the top of your shoulder, and bring the elbow behind your head so that your left palm lands between your shoulder blades. Reach your right hand behind you underneath, grabbing the other end of the strap. Then walk your hands as close together as you can. Notice if your front ribs are beginning to pop out in front of you like mine. Seal the bottom of your front ribs towards your back body to eliminate overarching and compressing your lower back. Press down through your pelvis, lift through the back of your skull, and feel the natural space in between your chin and chest. Taking a deep breath, spread your attention from your sternum, middle of your chest, wide through each collarbone, broadening to each shoulder head. And as you exhale, let your shoulder blades slide further down your back ribs. Hugging the front ribs in, begin to hinge little by little from your hips. Gomukhasana, or cow face pose. As we stay about 5 more breaths here, notice if your breath feels obstructed in any part of its passageway, like the throat. And see how you might facilitate more space within your body for your breath to easily flow, knowing that your breath is a vehicle that carries life force throughout your body. Now slightly engage your belly, support your lower back, and begin to lift the middle of your chest. Inhaling, slowly rise up. And then release your arms, release your legs straight, and just let your arms and legs move any way they want to. Let the movement be sort of an integration and checking in with how that feels now. All right, let's take the left thigh, cross it over the right, very close. Now, if you can, keep your 2 sitting bones evenly grounded. Go ahead and also bend your bottom knee, maybe splaying the feet apart. Place your left hand behind your pelvis, raise your right arm up, ground to sit taller as you inhale. And then to your left, exhale against the top of your left thigh. Maybe it's your forearm pressing against it. Breathe in and blossom your chest open while lifting to your crown. Breathe out, keep spiraling through the middle of your torso. Melt the tops of your shoulders down. And perhaps gaze past your left shoulder, stretching your neck. As we take at least 5 more deep breaths. Once you finish those 5 breaths, unwind your spine, keep the shape of your legs. Grab your strap with your right hand and raise your right arm. Rolling the tricep forward, broaden across the top of that shoulder and bend your elbow behind your skull. Reach underneath behind you with your left hand, grabbing the other end of the strap. And walk your hands as close together as you can. You might even clasp your fingers if that's available. Root your sitting bones down firmly again, and then imagine you could restack each vertebra of your spine as you take a deep breath. Find the open space at your throat, open space across your chest, shoulders relaxing down. Begin to hinge forward from your hips. As your pelvis remains firmly grounded, feel your spine like a tree growing from it, lengthening your heart space forward too. And let's take at least 5 more breaths here in cow face pose, Gomukhasana. And when you're ready, leading with your chest, inhale to slowly rise up. Release your arms, release your legs, and again, give them any movement they need to sort of integrate that. Relaxing your jaw. Okay, take your pillows, blocks, place them near the back edge of your mat because we're going to be on our backs for a while. Your strap as well. We're going to set up first in a restorative heart opening posture. So let's take one block, place it on its medium height, the second level across your mat. And the second block, now you can decide, you can either start the mildest version, tallest height. And when you're on there, if you're not feeling much to really open the chest here, you could tilt that block to the medium height as well. And if you still want a little more opening in the chest, front of your shoulders, you can either do the lowest height or no block under your head at all. So, have your pelvis on the ground. Bring your back area right under your shoulder blades to land on the closer block. And then notice how your skull needs that second block. What height does it need to be so that you can feel that opening in your chest? And you can test it out. Notice how the lower heights might feel. And then from here, your legs can either be splaying the thighs apart, soles of your feet together in Baddha Konasana, bound angle. That's great for opening the hips. But if you want to focus a little more on opening your sacrum, your lower back, do the opposite, which means knees bent, step your feet on the mat, separate your feet wider than hips distance, then drop your knees together so that they touch. If you feel any compression or stiffness in your lower back, that second one might be a good option for you. Now, let your shoulders feel symmetrically releasing downward towards the earth. Feel the space in your neck. And then raise your arms overhead towards the wall behind you. And as you raise your arms, take a deep breath and fill up your side ribs. And bending your elbows, with your hands catch hold of opposite elbows. And just let the weight of your forearms descend onto the ground overhead as your shoulder blades soften down your back, honoring space in your neck. Now let's focus on the center area of your heart energy chakra. Breathe in to the center of your chest. And breathe out through the center of your upper back. If you're a visual person, you might even imagine the color emerald green that is associated with Anahata, heart chakra. We are going to switch the hold of our arms, but we're going to be here for just another minute before we do that. So if you understand that the heart energy center, physiologically located around the center of your chest and upper back, is associated with the freedom to give and receive love. Physically, do you know any tension within that space? Or even aversion to opening those spaces? And this inquiry could be helpful in any of the energy centers, understanding what that energy center is associated with or responsible for. Because our bodies are amazing wisdom keepers, carrying the imprint of our habitual thoughts, emotions, or intense emotions. How can we use our bodies to reveal truths to us that we can honor lovingly and perhaps without judgment, but for the sake of knowing ourselves even more and caring for ourselves even better? All right, prepare to extend your arms overhead. Now let's switch the opposite elbow over the other as you hold them with your hands, and then drop your arms back. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Breathe in, center of your chest, center of your upper back. Let that emerald green color you might be visualizing expand from the center of your chest throughout your body. So as you exhale, it doesn't leave or diminish, it becomes greater. It being the life force energy traveling through your breath. We're here for about 1 more minute. You feel your lungs welcoming your full breaths here in this posture. And you feel your entire ribcage receiving the expansion of your lungs. Can you feel your belly and pelvis receiving your breath? All right, release your arms down by your sides. Press your forearms into the earth beside you, and then begin to slowly lift your head upright. Gently come on up so that we can remove the blocks underneath. We're just going to take one block now and come to lie down flat on your back first, then bend your knees, set your 2 feet on the ground, and then lifting your pelvis, slide the block lowest height across your mat underneath your sacrum, under the flat part of your lower back. You don't want it to be too close to the bottom of your glutes here because we're about to lift the leg and you want it to feel stable. Draw your shoulders into the ground, lengthen your neck, and now bend your right knee into your chest, catching hold of your shin or your thigh. Just give your right foot some movement, any kind, to acknowledge your ankle, calf, and shin, and all the muscles and joints in your foot. Then as you flex your left foot, curling the toes to spread upwards, begin to slide your left heel on the ground forward to whatever degree you can straighten your left leg. Now avoid turning out your left leg. Keep your left knee facing straight up towards the sky. And even imagine you're spiraling the inner side of your left thigh slightly towards the floor, as if you're about to pigeon toe your left foot. But just do it from your hip, not your ankle. See if you can draw your right leg a little closer to your right ribs. You might even try to breathe into the right side of your abdomen. And as you breathe out, compressing it as your right leg comes closer. It's a gentle stimulation for your digestion. Take a deep breath in here, a long sigh through your mouth. Set your left foot back onto the ground, knee bent. Set your right foot down beside it. And just relax your arms for a breath. Feel the weight of your pelvis on that block. Then bend your left knee close to your chest, catching your thigh or your shin. Begin to move out your left foot anyway, stretching your ankle, spreading your toes. Now flexing your right foot, curl the toes up towards the sky and press your right heel into the earth, sliding it forward to just the right amount you can straighten your right leg without strain. Keep your right knee facing up, not turning to the right. As you press the mound of your right big toe forward like you're stepping on the brakes. Let your inner right thigh slightly spin towards the ground. Breathe in, maybe into the left side of your belly. Breathe out, hug your left thigh even closer. A few more breaths. Let's take a giant breath in. Open your mouth, side out. Ha. Step your right foot on the floor. Set your left foot down next to it. Pause and relax your arms. Take a deep breath as you notice the effects of that posture. Lifting your pelvis, remove the block from underneath. Gently roll over to one side and slowly press the ground to lift your torso upright. So remember I mentioned we were going to come into legs at the wall pose, and if you don't have a free wall, like I don't actually, you can grab your two blocks and we'll make a tower to rest our calves on instead. So if you do have a wall, go ahead and maybe scoot your mat perpendicular up against it if you want the mat underneath you. To get into legs up in the wall pose, I find it helpful to first sit with one hip flush against the wall already, then turn over to your side to lie in a fetal position so that you can scoot both of your glutes to touch the wall. Then from there, you can roll onto your back, lift your legs up, and then basically your glutes will be touching the wall and you can rest your legs on it. Now, if you do have a wall, you also have the option of splaying your legs apart if you also want to get into your hips and inner thighs. Now, those of you without a wall, follow me here. We're going to grab our two blocks and make a tower. One for each calf. So you can set your blocks apart a little wider than hips distance. And then grab your blanket or maybe a pillow that you can drape over those towers to make some cushion. And then lie on your back, placing the center of your calves, the meatiest part of your calves, on top of each block. And then from here, you can use your thumbs to just slide them down alongside your lower spine on each side, like you're releasing the flesh of your glutes towards your calves. Walking your shoulder blades down your back, feel out your neck. Make sure it's in a neutral and relaxed position as you feel out your jaw. Perhaps make any silly faces to release any tension in the face. Not trying to imprint those silly faces, but just using them to let things go. We're gonna be here for 2 minutes, whether you're in legs at the wall or you're in the towers, and perhaps even longer if you decide that after those 2 minutes, this is the position you'd like to stay for Shavasana. As you rest in this posture with your body supported, allow a few last deep and controlled breaths to release fully through your mouth. Cleansing breaths. Maybe even a loud sigh. And when you feel ready, release control of your breathing. And ask your body, does it want to stay here for corpse pose, for Shavasana, or would you rather be completely on the ground? Would you rather be supported in a different way? And as you listen to your body respond, accommodating that request, eventually embrace that position of stillness. That ability to give yourself permission to let go. Knowing in the past weeks we were studying the root causes of suffering, the kleshas, I read a wonderful quote about death, as we're here in corpse pose now, symbolizing death. And it said that death is the stripping away of all that you are not. And that the key to life is dying before you die. The stripping away of all that you are not. Satya. As you lie a bit longer in corpse pose, notice, how does your body feel after that physical experience? What is the quality of your natural breath? And how do your heart and mind feel? As you continue to tune in, perhaps you keep your eyes closed for those of you transitioning into sitting silently in meditation. So if you'll join me for that, 5 minutes, slowly let your body rise into a comfortable position to sit. Feel into whatever layers or stuff you've sort of shed to your physical practice. And I invite you to sit in what's left, what's here now. Feel your body. Feel what is touching your body. And as you begin to move your fingers, slide your palms together to touch at the center of your chest. So as we step out of this physical yoga practice and enter the integrated yoga practice, I invite you to become curious about ways that you personally embody your emotions, your thoughts. And notice how your own body reveals truths for you to become better aware. Let's close with one Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.